MONSTERA ADANSONI. Some rooted cutting. Be opaque because this is moist and I want it to look like you don't need to dry. Hi guys, it's your girl Shay, and I have another moss pole video for you today. We rhyme. So this is my MONSTERA ADANSONii, and I actually took some cuttings from the mother plant that I had. You would have seen that video where I put that plant on the moss pole, and I actually have some rooted cuttings. And I wanted to share with you guys that I actually now have a plant Instagram, and I'll leave it down below. If you love plants, you should follow that. And I also have a plant shop on Etsy. So if you would like to buy any of these cuttings, they are fully rooted. I have a bunch of stuff on there, so I will also link that down below. But these cuttings, look at those nice, healthy ramen noodles. You know what I mean? They look so good, so good. So what I was thinking was to put it on a moss pole, because I've heard that if you put things on a moss pole, they actually will size up a lot faster. You're gonna see a lot more growth. They're gonna get bigger. And these are already huge. Like, look, this is my hand. Look how big this is. So I'm excited to see how big this can get. I also have, so I took a couple cuttings. So I also have this one. And then I also have, they call it a wet stick. So it's just literally just like a cutting. The water's getting a little murky. But we looks like we have a new leaf here forming. But yeah, so I think I stuck something else. Yes, I also stuck a cane plant, so a Dieffenbachia in there. So yeah, but the MONSTERA, it's right here. I hope that one's not rotting because it look a little brown. Okay, so maybe I might save that for later, but I definitely want to put these on a moss pole. So I have the plastic D-shaped moss poles, and they're great. And I've actually loved the translucent. So it has this little like opaque color, I guess, shine to it. The translucent one was a little bit difficult to see because they all look like you can see right through them, you know what I mean? So we're gonna be building that today. I have my spaghnum moss, I have all my soil. I wanted to put it into this vase. Now I bought this hoping to put a bigger plant into it, but honestly, I don't know. I don't really like big plants. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I would prefer, my collection are all like small to medium plants, and I prefer to grow them up until they're big. And if I wait for that, these are just gonna be like, I just want to use it. So I was thinking to put the moss pole in it, and then fill it up with soil, and then just have this. And I know this will grow really big, so because this is so heavy, it'll like withstand, it won't top over, you know? So let's do that today. All right, so I have the moss pole here. It's very easy to literally put together. Just have to fold the sides. The most difficult part is making sure that these little slots like fit in, because obviously it's a little bit of a hard plastic, but like once you do one, you get the hang of it. You don't have to struggle. I did one, it was like a struggle bus, and then after that I realized like what the trick was. So yeah, and I actually really like these, and this is why I've bought like 16 of them now. I've ordered 3 times, and I have it linked in my Amazon storefront if you want to get one of these. But I like these because eventually if I need to extend the moss pole, I can do that. I can just put another one right in here, fits together, it's perfect. So I've been liking the plastic D-shaped moss poles. And another thing is that this keeps the spaghnum moss moist for longer, because it's not all open to like the air. The only part that's open to air is this front part here. So let's stick this part in here. This is what I'm telling you. This is the difficult part, and that's it. Stick that in. And it has different sizes, so you can do the small moss pole, extra large, medium. So you can definitely choose what size you would like. So now that I have them all in, I'm just, oh, the water spilled, oopsie. I'm just going to make sure they're clicked in. You want to hear that click? There you go. Okay, so that's the moss pole. So that is there, looks great. So now I am going to fill my moss pole with spaghnum moss. But first what I'm going to do, and I find this a lot easier to do it first, is attach the cuttings to the moss pole. So once I can do that, then I can start filling with sphagnum moss, and I can also fill the bottom with like my media here, soil. And I will tell you what's exactly in there. And I use a different mix for moss poles because I don't want them to like drown in water, since the moss pole needs to remain moist. So I have these zip ties here. I got them from the dollar store. So there is the large version and then the small one. And all I do is just zip tie it to the inside of the moss pole. So let me just see how this looks inside of this. First, I'll put it on the side so you can see. Okay, so that means I would have to fill this portion here with like soil mix or rocks or anything like that. And that's what I was hoping to do. So I'd fill the bottom with, I have these little glass pebbles and some rocks. Filled it with rocks, and then the rest I would fill with my soil and media. So that looks pretty good. Okay, so here's where I'm going to attach it, and I'm gonna make sure the roots are in the soil, and this portion will be exposed to the sphagnum moss. These root really quickly, and I'm actually surprised because I got this plant maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I just decided to take some cuttings because I saw these leaves were like huge. And this plant just sprouted up. I'm really impressed with it. Let me put this one as well. Just look at those beautiful roots. Aren't they just great? And they've started to develop secondary roots, so that's how I know they are ready to pot up. Now, because these were rooted in water, I'm going to have to keep these, like keep the soil moist for a little bit so that I don't shock them. So this is how it's going to look. I'm going to attach it at the bottom here with the zip tie. So I'm just running it through the little honeycomb, the little honeycombs pretty much. Like that. Okay, hold on. Oh, I just spilled it again. And then I'm just going to attach it. There you go. Okay, so now this will tell the plant that there is something for it to climb, and it can start sizing up and grow into the beautiful mature plant that I would like to see. So I love putting my plants in no drainage. So this has no drainage holes. Obviously it is a glass vase. So what I like to do is just make it kind of decorative. So I have these glass marbles, these like little pebbles that I got from the dollar store. So I'm gonna put that on the layer in the bottom. Let me try not to make this like super loud. Okay. So this is what it looks like. Okay, and I want some more on the bottom. So I'm gonna put some black rocks that I have. What do you think? I have black rocks here. I have seashells, and I also have some like a clay balls with sand. But I think I'm gonna save that for something else. So I think I'm gonna use black rocks. So let's just put that. So like they're little pebbles for like the garden. So let me just put that here. I just have a bunch of like random stuff. There you go. Sorry if that was super loud, but now it's nice and heavy and I know that it will not topple over. So let's just see how this is going to look. I'm just going to tip it on its side, and I want it to look like this. So I'm going to fill it up with soil, and let me show you what's in my soil mix. All right, so I have a chunky soil mix already mixed, but it has like some orchid bark, there's some cocoa chips, there's cocoa core, there's cocoa fiber, there's some, what's it called? It's like these little stones, and they like release moisture back to the plant. I have some sphagnum moss in here. Literally, it's just a huge collection of all the types of media that I like to use. I like the soil to be a lot more draining, but able to retain moisture, and that is because now that we're using the moss poles, the moss has to remain moist. So I'm not going to start watering the pole until these start growing into it, but for the time being, I would still like to have just like some well-draining soil. So what I'm going to do is just hold this here, and I'm going to start filling it with the soil that I have. So I have a little cup here. I'm just going to start filling it up. So I'm actually really super excited that my plant store has started. Plants are a hobby to me, and it makes me happy. It releases, just happy hormones. It helps my anxiety a lot. It is definitely something that just keeps my mind off of life, when life gets hard. And I decided to start my Etsy shop because I was propagating a lot of different plants, and I was like, these are very healthy. I feel like people would love to have these. And I actually was propagating to give plants away to my friends, and they thought it was a great idea. So I decided, I have all this excess propagations. Let me see if anyone would like to buy it. And I've actually sold, I believe, 4 already. Let me just dig. I need to dig a hole right there. So I just need a little bit of a hole to put this in. Okay. There you go. Yeah, so I sold 4 already. It ships within Canada, so it's like almost practically overnight shipping. You are able to request expedited shipping. I pack everything myself, so it's actually something me and my dad work on, and it's really cool. Actually, I might do a video on it, just like showing how, how you run a plant business. I can't even say it's a plant business, but it's just a side little thing that I'm doing, and I think it's really cool. So here, I'm gonna move it so that you can see. Okay, I need to rotate this because I need to put some soil in here. But yeah, I had to limit myself to buying plants once a week, like 1 a week, because I will just buy everything out. And I've been finding some really uncommon plants in Ottawa, and it is so exciting to see things that I only see online in person. It's just crazy. Okay, so that's what we have so far. Let me just take a quick picture and let's continue. So the plant store just kind of helps out. It turns my hobby into, making some money. Helps pay the bills. I mean, YouTube is my hobby, but if you guys don't know, YouTube doesn't really pay very well. The majority of payments that you're going to get to actually maintain a lifestyle is going to be from sponsors, and lately the sponsors that have been reaching out to me, they're kind of, I don't want to say shallow. I get it, it's a business, but they'll message me and they'll be like, hey, we love your channel, blah blah blah, and I'll respond back to them, and I'll give them my rates, and then they come back and they're like, yeah, so unfortunately, because you don't have 10K subscribers, we're not going to partner with you. And I'm like, wait, didn't you just say that you love my channel and you want to work with me? So what happened? But it's okay. Everybody's in it for business, I guess. I believe that what is meant for you will come. You don't need to beg for it. So, sucks for them. Maybe they will come back and realize that they want to work with me, but it's okay. I'm not here begging. I have a full-time job. This is just a hobby. So any money I make from this is just, it's just put right back into the channel. So I'm so glad that I don't rely on this full-time for work, because this would be super stressful. Because just chasing down sponsors and, vetting people, it's not that fun. So yeah. Anyways, so I have a box of spaghnum moss here. It's been dried out because I like to store it dry, and then I'd like to moisten it once I put it into the pool. So let's just fill this up with spaghnum moss. All right, so I made it wide angle so that you guys could see me putting the moss in, because I know last time it was a bit too zoomed in. I was editing it and I was like, girl, nobody can see what you're doing. But yeah. So I was really shocked about these videos because I just did it because I just, I had to do it anyways, and I was just recording myself putting plants on a moss pole, and I posted it, and the first couple of days, didn't do so well, and then, I checked on the video and it's at 2,000 views, and I'm like, oh, what? People are actually interested in this, and clearly they are. There's a lot of people who love plants, and I love it too. It's my hobby. I just didn't think anyone would be interested in watching me do all this stuff, but I don't know, I like to watch these videos because I like to see other people doing things. Maybe they have a different method, maybe it's a lot easier for me, I actually learned, I was watching somebody, I think it was the Leica Queen, and she put the plants onto the pole before she filled it. Now, before that, I had actually watched a bunch of videos because I was thinking, I'm like, maybe I should try moss poles. And a lot of people, they just kept they put the moss first and then they attached it, and then they were complaining about how the moss was falling everywhere. It's like, okay, there's an easy way to solve that. So sometimes people have different methods, different things that you could learn from, you know, people telling you how to water the moss poles, different troubleshooting. And I also found these very like therapeutic, which is why I just kind of like have it like it's a conversation, you know, like a conversation between two friends, you know, give you maybe some updates, talk about the plants. But yeah, let me know if you guys like these. I'll do more. It was funny because when I first posted the video and it didn't do well, I was like, oh, well, that's the last time I'm doing that. And then I ended up putting up, I think I did 4 moss poles off camera because I was like, what's the point? Nobody's watching, blah, blah, blah. And then by the time I checked the analytics and saw like over 2,000 people liked watching the video, I was like, damn it, I should have filmed it. But it's okay. So now I know I bought 4 new moss poles, so which means I am going to be picking some plants that I want to attach to the moss pole, and I'm picking plants that I want to see size up. So even though syngoniums are becoming one of my favorites, they actually don't really size up that well. They get bushier, but they don't really size up. So I want plants like pothos that will size up, because I just want to see them, just want to have nice big leaves, you know? I just feel like it's super rewarding. So yeah. So now I started recording my plant chores. I started recording, you know, doing like the stuff that I think is boring, but people actually find really relaxing. And it's funny because I like to watch those videos. So I figured, why not record my own and have this little relaxing, chatty plant chore vlogs, you know? But yeah, so that's how the moss pole is looking. Obviously it's a bit dirty now because I've sprinkled moss over all the leaves. But I will water this, and I keep a little reservoir of water at the bottom, just so I don't have to water it as often. And yeah, I'm gonna keep this soil moist because these were water roots. But yeah, that's my moss pole. So here's the final product. Here's how it looks. Nice thick moss pole. So if you guys want to see the progress updates on this, I'll post it on my plant Instagram, so follow me there. I have the link up on the screen and down below. And check out my plant store because I'm selling a bunch of cuttings. So maybe you guys don't have any plants, like these uncommon plants, and you just want to buy it, go check it out. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.